Flying on international business and first class flights is on everybody's bucket list, but unfortunately for the most of us, the price tag for these flights is absolutely unaffordable. Fortunately, there's a way to consistently get 50 to 80% discount on these premium cabin flights without having to rely on credit card points and credit card welcome bonuses. And that is by strategically buying points from airlines when they have a sale on their miles. For example, Air Canada's Aeroplan is currently running a sale with a 95% bonus. Through the sale, you're effectively able to book this round-trip business class flight on Swissair between Boston to Zurich, but instead of paying this $4,000 price tag, you can book this effectively for just $1,820. This represents a 50% discount compared to the cash rate, and you can do this over and over again whenever there's a sale. Now let's get something very clear right from the get-go. When I say buy miles, I'm not referring to buying miles from sketchy third-party mileage brokers. Absolutely avoid those. This practice goes directly against airlines' loyalty program policies and can lead to account shutdowns as well as ticket cancellations. Whenever you need to buy miles, always buy them directly from the airline's loyalty account, and there's plenty of sales happening now and then which you can take advantage of and buy miles for super cheap. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Advait, and on this channel, I teach people how to travel for nearly free by maximizing their credit card points and airline miles. If that sounds like your jam, then make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future award travel tips and tricks. Alright, so before you go about buying any miles, you need to have loyalty accounts created with an airline. Why? Because without a loyalty account, you can't really buy any airline miles. Additionally, if you go and create loyalty accounts right when the sale is happening, you most likely won't be eligible to buy miles at the sale. And this is to prevent the fraud as well as the third-party mileage brokers from breaking through the airline's policies. So it's best practice to just create loyalty accounts with the major airlines and keep them. That way you'll get notified in your email when the airline releases a sale, and you'll be eligible for that sale whenever it's live. Here are the major programs where you should create a free loyalty account right now so you're ready when a sale goes live. For One World Alliance flights, create accounts with Alaska Airlines Mileage Plan as well as American Airlines Advantage. Also, set up accounts for Avios programs like British Airways Executive Club, Qatar Airways Privilege Club, Iberia Plus, and Finnair Avios. For SkyTeam Alliance flights, create accounts with Air France KLM Flying Blue as well as Virgin Atlantic Flying Club. And for Star Alliance flights, create accounts with United Mileage Plus, Air Canada Aeroplan, and Avianca LifeMiles. For other non-alliance airlines with great products, definitely check out JetBlue's TrueBlue program. These loyalty programs run sales quite often, so having an account ready with them will give you access to their sale right when it goes live. Additionally, having loyalty accounts created across airlines from all the major alliances will give you access to several more airlines through their alliance partnerships. For example, booking Swiss Air through Air Canada Aeroplan is possible because they're both part of the Star Alliance. Alright, now I'm going to jump into a screen share and show you an actual sale that's going on at the time of recording this video with Air Canada Aeroplan points. I'm first going to show you how to calculate your exact cost to buy the miles. We're then going to see how much it's going to cost you to redeem for a particular flight. And finally, we're going to put it all together and calculate your actual discount that you're getting by buying the miles and redeeming them for the flight versus buying the flight tickets directly on the airline. Air Canada's Aeroplan is currently running a sale on their miles with up to a 95% bonus. The very first thing that I want to tell you is whenever you see a mileage sale, ignore the bonus percentage because that's kind of irrelevant. What you want to find out is what is your cost to buy per mile. And the second thing that I want to tell you is that most mileage sales from airlines will have a tiered promotion, which means in order to unlock that highest 95% bonus, I have to buy a certain number of miles. In this case, I have to buy at least 80,000 Aeroplan points in order to get a 95% bonus. If I buy anything less than that, it's going to be a 70% bonus. And if I go even lower, I can drop down to 50% bonus. In most cases, it's only going to make sense for you to buy the highest bonus percentage in order to unlock the best possible discount. Now, what you want to do here is calculate your cost to buy per mile. And the way you can do this is just by looking at the total cost to buy the total number of miles. So in this case, with the 95% bonus, I'm getting to buy 80,000 Aeroplan points plus the 95% bonus of 76,000 Aeroplan points for a total 156,000 Aeroplan points for a cost of 3,000 Canadian dollars. 3,000 Canadian dollars comes to about 2,190 US dollars, which means my cost to buy per Aeroplan point is about 1.4 US cents per point. Now that you know what your cost to buy per Aeroplan point is, all you have to do is find a redemption and then multiply that by your cost to find the cost of your redemption. So in this case, I'm going to show you an example of a round-trip business class ticket on Swissair between Boston and Zurich. I found this award availability using seats.aero, so be sure to find award availability first before you go ahead and buy any points. Because remember, not all flights are bookable using points, so you first want to go ahead and find award availability for a flight that you're looking to take, and only then look to buy the miles for that flight. So in this case, this round-trip Swissair business class flight is available between Boston and Zurich, and on Air Canada's website, it can be booked for 120,000 Aeroplan points and 194 Canadian dollars. Now that I know how many points I need for a redemption, I can just multiply that by the cost for my previous step. So to buy the 120,000 Aeroplan points at the rate of 1.4 cent per point, it's going to cost me 1,680 US dollars. I also have to pay 194 Canadian dollars in fees, which comes to 141 US dollars, which brings my total cost for this redemption to 1,821 US dollars. Now that you know the cost of your redemption, you can compare this to the cash value of the same flight to calculate your discount. So the same exact round-trip Swissair business class flight can be booked directly on Swissair's website for 3,936 US dollars. Compare this to the 1,820 US dollars that you're getting to book this by buying the miles and redeeming them. That represents a 54% discount. And just like that, you save nearly 50% on a business class flight to Europe, which would have otherwise cost you $4,000 out of pocket. Now I'm going to show you another example with Alaska Miles that are currently running a targeted promotion for their sale, and have been targeted with a 50% bonus. So with my current percentage bonus, I'm getting to buy 90,000 Alaska Miles for 1,650 US dollars, which brings my cost per Alaska Mile to just 1.83 cents per mile. This is much more expensive than what Aeroplan is selling their points for. But the great thing is that you need fewer Alaska Miles for a similar redemption when you compare that to Air Canada's Aeroplan. So with 90,000 Alaska Miles, I can essentially redeem them for this round-trip business class flight between JFK and London on American Airlines. Again, I'm here on Alaska's website and I've searched for a mileage ticket between JFK and London. The round-trip business class flight on American Airlines is going to cost me 90,000 Alaska Miles and about $410 in taxes and fees. If I look up the same flight on Google Flights, the cash rate to book this is $3,800. So now compare this to the $2,000 that's going to cost me to buy the miles and redeem them. That represents a near 45% discount. Alright, so now that you know how to buy the miles, calculate the redemption value and your discount, there are a few things you need to keep in mind before you jump into buying miles. Whenever you're buying miles, you want to make sure you're aware of the airline's mileage terms and expiration terms. Depending on airline loyalty program to loyalty program, there will be different expiration terms and policies. For example, Virgin Atlantic points never expire, so as long as you have an account in good standing, your miles are valid. On the other hand, airlines like Singapore Airlines have a pretty hard expiration policy for their miles, and if they're left unused, there's no way to renew them and you will forfeit your miles. The next thing you want to factor in is what are the cancellation terms for different award flights. For example, most US airline programs have zero cancellation fees for their own flights as well as partner awards, like that American Airlines business class flight to London that was bookable through Alaska Miles. I can cancel that for $0 out of pocket right up until departure. But on the other hand, the Air Canada Swissair business class flight does have a cancellation fee that may vary. Sometimes it's $100 or even $200 to cancel those flights. Now, there are certain airline programs like Iberia that have absolutely no cancellations allowed for partner flights. So keep this in mind while booking, because you can end up losing all your miles if you're unable to take a flight and have to cancel. That's all for this video. I hope these strategies will help you book some amazing flights for a huge discount and travel for nearly free. If you have any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video.